So, did not time that very well. 15 minutes for the last video. Bad job, Miss Lawson. These next two scenes are literally going to take less than 5 minutes. So, here we go. We were at Act 3, Scene 5. This scene is really interesting. We have the witches and this lady called Hecate. So, Hecate, she is the queen witch, I guess you could call her, the boss witch. She is the one who's supposed to be in charge of the other witches. This scene is really interesting because most people who study Shakespeare don't think that he wrote it. They think that it was inserted at a later date. There's a couple differences in the rhythm of the language. Shakespeare wrote in iambic pentameter. This is a little bit different. The rhymes are a little bit different as well. So it was meant to be written to look like Shakespeare, but people can tell that it's not. And then also it doesn't really have much to do with the play. It's not really necessary. Hecate doesn't need to show up and get mad at these witches. The one thing that it does insert into the play is this whole idea about fate and destiny. And she has a scene, or a quote, he shall spurn fate, scorn death, and bear his hopes above wisdom, grace, and fear. And you'll all know security is mortal's chiefest enemy. So this brings into question, is this actually his destiny? And that kind of, I think, just makes the whole play, that message a little bit unclear. So don't get too hung up on this scene. It's not like a big deal, and a lot of people don't actually even include it when they stage Macbeth. Lastly, that brings us to scene 6. We have Lennox. Remember, he is a noble, one of the lords of Scotland. He was there when Duncan died, was murdered. Didn't just die, he was murdered. He had shown up to take Duncan away early that morning and was there when the murder occurred. He is talking to a random lord, we don't know who he is, and they are talking about how it seems that all of these sons are killing their fathers. So he is talking about Malcolm and Donalbain killing Duncan and then running away, and then about how Fleance has killed Banquo. So we already know that Fleance didn't kill Banquo, but the official story is that Fleance killed Banquo and then ran away. Lennox is speaking sarcastically in this scene. He is hinting that he knows that Macbeth is the person that has done this, and that the official story is that these sons are responsible for the murder, and he is not happy at all about this situation. And then he and the Lord talk about Macduff, about how Macduff is not in Scotland anymore, how he has gone to England to help Malcolm. They also talk about how Macduff is blatantly speaking out against Macbeth and saying that he thinks Macbeth is a bad king, that he shouldn't be in charge, and he's trying to kind of create a rebellion or a revolution in this sense. So this scene's important to show us that there is tyranny, so that is when a person abuses their power. There's tyranny happening in Scotland. Macbeth is abusing his power. People don't believe it. They don't actually think that Macbeth is as innocent as he proclaims to be. And there are people out there that are trying to make things different. That ends our Act 3 summary. Again, if you guys have questions, please shoot me an email, give me a phone call, anything that you need to do to get a hold of me. Ask questions on our synchronous meetings. I will clarify them. And yeah, stay tuned for Act 4.